Look, I have had this situation regarding Derek Carr on my mind all week because the retired quarterback is officially stirring the pot again by telling Good Morning Football he would return for the right opportunity. It is bizarre to see a player who walked away from the New Orleans Saints now fueling rumors about a comeback when we finally found our rhythm with Tyler Show. This matters because it threatens to distract from our actual franchise momentum, and frankly, I am tired of the noise. And honestly, the more details come out, the harder it is to ignore what is going on behind the scenes. My name is Lucas, so please hit that like button, subscribe, and drop your name and city in the comments below. Let us get into it. Derek Carr is back in the headlines, and for us New Orleans Saints fans, it feels like we are reopening a chapter we already closed. During his time here, Carr was often viewed as an outsider who struggled to connect with the fan base while navigating the pressure of a rebuilding organization under Kellen Moore. After he retired, we finally found our footing with Tyler Show, who has blossomed into the franchise quarterback we desperately needed to elevate our offense. Despite our current stability, Carr recently signaled on Good Morning Football that he is open to returning to the NFL for the right opportunity. And I cannot stress this enough, the timing of this speculation is entirely unnecessary for a team that has moved on. The veteran signal caller seems to be angling for a landing spot with a legitimate contender, yet his public comments have only served to stir the pot unnecessarily. While it is highly unlikely he returns to the Big Easy, the mere fact that he is keeping his name in the cycle forces us to look back at his tenure here with mixed emotions. Many of us feel that his time in New Orleans was a mismatch from the start, and seeing his name linked to potential quarterback-needy teams across the league feels like a strange relic of the past. Does this return to the news cycle suggest that Carr is feeling restless, or is he simply trying to remain relevant in a league that has clearly pivoted toward younger talent like Shoe? This persistent noise around a former starter creates an odd tension as we prepare for the next season. The real issue is whether his comments are just talk or if there is something happening behind the scenes that could complicate our current roster strategy as we look toward the future. The most surprising reality regarding this potential return is that Derek Carr is actively seeking to leverage his past experience with the Saints to secure a final lucrative contract elsewhere. While many of us assumed his retirement signaled a clean break, the veteran quarterback is clearly testing the waters to see if any desperate organization is willing to overlook his uneven tenure in New Orleans. What makes this even bigger is the sheer contrast between how our front office handled his departure and the way Carr now speaks about his future requirements for a starting job. We remember how the situation soured under Kellen Moore, leading to a point where the coaching staff clearly prioritized a fresh direction with Tyler Show. Behind closed doors, the Saints leadership likely views this chatter as a distraction they are happy to have moved past, especially since Show finally brought the stability we desperately needed. Historically, this team has struggled with messy quarterback exits, yet the transition to a younger, more dynamic leader has been surprisingly smooth. While the organization remains focused on building around the talent we have on the current roster, the lingering cloud of a former starter looking for a comeback adds an unnecessary layer of intrigue. If a playoff contender feels they are just one veteran arm away from a championship, they might ignore the inconsistencies we witnessed during his time in the Crescent City. However, for those of us watching closely, it is evident that this team has moved on to a brighter chapter. The front office is likely prioritizing long-term durability over the short-term Band-Aid approach that defined the previous regime. We should appreciate that the focus is finally on the future rather than relitigating the mistakes of the past, while we watch our new franchise leader command the field with such newfound confidence. It is time to look at the cold, hard reality of how these Derek Carr retirement rumors impact our peace of mind in New Orleans. While Tyler Show has clearly earned his place as the franchise leader and a beacon of hope for our offense, the constant chatter about a former veteran returning to the league creates an unnecessary distraction we simply do not need. This is where it gets real because any lingering ambiguity regarding our history at the quarterback position can subtly undermine the chemistry we worked so hard to build under Kellen Moore. If the front office feels pressured to address these rumors, it takes focus away from solidifying our depth chart behind Show, potentially wasting precious salary cap space on redundant veteran insurance rather than investing in young, hungry talent elsewhere. When we look at our upcoming slate, games against division rivals like the Panthers become high-stakes chess matches where the smallest edge determines our fate. We cannot afford to lose focus during the grind of the regular season just because a former player is making noise on television. Our standing within the NFC South depends entirely on the consistency of our new starter and the synergy of the offensive unit. If we start questioning our internal trajectory, our rivals will surely capitalize on that hesitation. Maintaining a clean, undisputed hierarchy is the only way to secure a playoff spot and prove that we have truly moved past the frustrations of the previous regime. We have a clear path forward with Show, and as Saints fans, we must insist that the team remains committed to that vision without looking in the rearview mirror. By staying laser-focused on the talent currently in the building, we maximize our chances of controlling the division and ensuring that our postseason ambitions remain firmly within our own grasp this year. The strongest argument for a team signing Derek Carr centers on his vast experience and steady veteran presence. For a franchise currently navigating instability or a youth movement, bringing in a seasoned leader who understands the pressure of a major market provides a reliable bridge to long-term success. Carr has proven he can command a huddle, and his ability to read complex defensive schemes offers immediate value for any organization looking to secure a winning record. And this is the part that gets me because the downside is just as apparent as the potential reward. Investing significant resources into a veteran who previously walked away from the game creates a precarious situation regarding team chemistry and commitment. If a team is looking to build a multi-year identity, relying on a player who has already retired once could prove to be a short-sighted decision. Analysts at Good Morning Football have been actively discussing these possibilities, noting that teams like the Tennessee Titans or the Washington Commanders could view Carr as a plug-and-play solution. Meanwhile, teams such as the Seattle Seahawks are also being whispered about in league circles as potential landing spots for a veteran of his caliber. Here is where I land on this whole situation. Frankly, the constant chatter about Carr returning feels largely like noise generated by media cycles rather than genuine interest from front offices. While he possesses the talent to start in this league, the reality is that most competitive teams are currently pivoting toward younger, more sustainable options at the signal caller position. My honest take is that the Saints have clearly moved on, and it would be a mistake for any organization to prioritize nostalgia over the tactical evolution of their roster. The game is simply moving in a different direction, and we are better off focusing on our own bright future instead. The trajectory of our franchise is finally pointing upward after years of uncertainty regarding the quarterback position. By fully committing to Tyler Show, we have pivoted toward a stable, long-term foundation that allows Kellen Moore to build a balanced offense capable of contending in the modern NFL. And that changes everything for our outlook over the next few seasons, as we are no longer tethered to the veteran carousel that plagued us previously. As New Orleans Saints fans, you should feel a genuine sense of optimism and calm heading into the season. The primary reason for this confidence is that we have finally stopped reacting to short-term pressures and started investing in a player who has already demonstrated the ability to elevate those around him. Watching Show take command of the huddle proves that the team prioritized the right traits when they locked in on him during the draft process. Even though Derek Carr is making noise about a potential return to the field, that does not affect our building process anymore. We have graduated from the era of wondering who will take the snap and have entered a period of development where the focus is on winning games rather than managing drama. It is a refreshing shift that gives us a clear identity and a leader who fits the scheme perfectly. Now that we have established that Tyler Show is our clear starter, do you believe he will lead the Saints to a postseason appearance this year? If you enjoyed the video, do not forget to like it and subscribe to the channel. Who Dat? I'll see you in the next one. Meanwhile, make sure to hit that notification bell so you never miss an update on all things black and gold. We truly appreciate your dedicated support throughout this entire football season.